Gibbs County Court Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session. The cause number M333780 case is style of state of Texas versus Anthony Smith. Mr. Smith, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Smith, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Smith? You doing all right? That's good. And Mr. Smith, I have before me 2 documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line as titled defendant?
Yes.
Are these your initials on the line stating you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney? I also have before me a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant's signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents? And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Smith, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. Attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Todd LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc will be given information about how to contact you. And you will also be given information about how to contact Mr. LeBlanc. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Just have a seat in that chair on the end. And when she's ready for you, you can go up to her window. And once you finish at her window, you'll be free to go and you have a flex day. Does Mr. Smith have bond conditions? M333780.
Did you say that was? Mr. Smith?
Yes, Anthony Smith, M333780.
Yes, sir, he does.
Okay. Next case is cause number M322016, case of style of state of Texas versus Irwin Dwight Purdy. Mr. Purdy, would you come forward? Mr. Purdy, your full name is Irwin Dwight Purdy. Mr. Purdy, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Purdy, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Purdy, you may put your hand down. Mr. Purdy, how are you doing? Doing all right? That's good. Now, Mr. Purdy, I have before me 2 documents. First document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Are these your initials on the line stating you'd like to apply for court-appointed attorney? I also have a document that's titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant's signature. Is this your signature? Mr. Purdy, before you sign and initial these documents, did you read the documents? Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Purdy, based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney that would be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney John Macy. Attorney John Macy will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator is gonna give you that information. Once you get that information from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Please have a seat and the chair, the chair you was just sitting in.
Here.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2, back in session. The court is in session and calls number M328642, case of style the state of Texas versus Faith Brumfield. Ms. Brumfield, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Brumfield, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Brumfield, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Brumfield, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Brumfield? I'm doing fine. I see you have on your shirt chilling. I guess you're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. State is Ms. Brumfield, you are represented in this case by your attorney, Giles Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing?
Great guy.
That's good. And again, the state is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel, and Attorney Hubel, again, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. And yourself, Judge?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Cole, do you waive a record in Ms. Brumfield's case? Ms. Brumfield, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Faith Brumfield, on or about, beginning November 20th of 2020 and continuing through on or about December 15 of 2020, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of theft. Ms. Brumfield, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Brumfield, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
I am.
Ms. Brumfield, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that says check guilty. Did you place your initials FB on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
It's on the.
Well, actually, Your Honor, I'm the defendant there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all put it in. Okay, yeah.
I'm glad you go over that. It's hard.
I just signed way.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that was-
Now, Ms. Broomfield. Okay, the document that I have before me is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Do I have that discovery certificate? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Brumfield, before you sign the initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Brumfield, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Cole, you're advising counsel, Ms. Brumfield, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, yeah.
And Ms. Brumfield, your attorney, Mr. Cole, has advised and counsels you. Are you satisfied with his services?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Ms. Brumfield, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
That agreement is to a plea to 1 year deferred probation with a $150 fine, 40 hours community service, and $1,250 restitution to the self improvement.
Okay. Now, Ms. Broomfield, and Oaks, and there's no community service in this case. Okay. What amount of community service?
That was for 40 hours, Your Honor.
40? Okay,
Yeah.
let me give this back to you. Just to write it in on here, Mr. Hubert. It's all the, there's a spot on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only just a spot that he's gonna put 40 hours of community service. Okay, now, Ms. Broomfield, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year probationary period, let's see. During this 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $150. You'll also be required to pay court costs in the amount of $337. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You will also be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay a restitution in the amount of $1,250. And who is that payable to? Lowe's?
The address and location is in the plea document.
Okay. Now you'll be required to pay $1,250 to Lowe's Home Improvement, 8383 Memorial Boulevard in Port Arthur, Texas. And Ms. Broomfield, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $241 a month. Will you be able to pay the $241 each month? Oh, you know what? Are you appointed in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me do this here. I'll change it up a bit. Okay, let me do this here. I have to recalculate this. Okay, you'll be required to pay $264 a month while you're on probation. Will you be able to pay the $264 each month? You will. You will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, and you would also be required to adhere to the other standard terms of your probation. Now, Ms. Broomfield, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. Broomfield, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. Broomfield, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Ms. Broomfield, You're gonna stand next to your attorney on the X on the floor. You're gonna stand in front of all, you need it. Okay, just have a seat. And then when you come back up, you're gonna stand on the X before the court clerk. And you'll follow her directions. And once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Not on my excuse.
yes. Well, hold
If
on.
Good weekend.
You need something else?
Have a good day.
I just did ask Mr. Hubel, does it code on the tablet? So
I
can
think this
put
was
it-
already on.
Will you put the zip code of the 8383 Memorial Boulevard on the tablet? So it can.
Here you Just pulled out the zip code.
77640, we already used it up.
So. Next case is cause number M323548, case South State of Texas versus Sherman Lynn Barnes.
Yes, sir.
Barnes, you may come forward. Mr. Barnes, your full name is Sherman Lynn Barnes.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Barnes?
I'm doing great, y'all.
That's good. Mr. Barnes, you're represented in your case by Attorney Jennifer DeLedge. Mr. DeLedge, how are you doing?
Pretty great.
That's good. Mr. DeLedge, what is your announcement in Mr. Barnes' case?
We're gonna ask for a reset, Judge. We do have paper discovery, but we have not yet received the media discovery. And we'd like some time to view that.
Okay, give us a reset date.
September 1st or September 15th.
Sep-
15th.
Okay, September 15th, 2023. Okay, Mr. Barnes, your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day, and Mr. Ledge, this is your last case. You're free to go as well. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great weekend.
And thank you. And this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket scheduled for today, June 23rd, 2023, in County Court at Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day. And Mr. Hubel, you are excused and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. And I'll be getting you the audit